Try to start. I have trouble finding it. You got a picture. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. On the dark. Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Celebrating together. Grateful for your presence here today with us as we take time just to be together in whatever way that means for each one of us. For those physically present, for those of you out there in cyberspace around the earth, so we're grateful invite you to join our vocation. And we're dedicating this ceremony to our dear friend Sean Robinson, who passed last Saturday, and sending him, all of our love, and to Suzanne Sobel Benson as well, as she deals with the transition in her life. So we're going to honor the four directions, which is something Sean would have relished and appreciated that we're evoking his name as well as the four directions together here. So I invite you to join us in O great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea. You are inside and all around me. We'll sing that once for each of the four directions as we honor Mother Earth, this place we are so blessed to call home. And then we'll sing it a fifth time for that divine within each one of us. So if you're able, please turn and face to the east. As we begin by facing the direction of the rising sun, the new beginning, the infinite possibility, together.
The sun, sky, and sea. You are inside.
Face to the south, setting sun, warm abundance.
The sun, sky, and sea. You are
We turn and face to the west, the setting sun, the mystery.
the sun, sky, and sea. You are
We turn and face to the north, dark night, the night, the land of change. Turn within the spirit. Oh, Holy One, Holy Mystery, we open our hearts to you in this moment. We open our hearts to the all and the everything that is, that has been, that will be. We join with all of creation, with the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged ones, the ones that swim and crawl, rocks, trees, grasses, with the seas, the skies, the oceans, the stars, with the universe, with all of life. We affirm our oneness. We affirm we are one. Together, we are one. Once again, we are one. For this opportunity to be together, to celebrate, to honor and nurture the sacred in ourselves, each other, and all of creation. For this, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
Won't you join me in this opening chant? We are opening in sweet surrender to the life of the one. The dance floor is open. Thank you, Miami, and anyone else final feet. We are all burning in sweet surrender to the light of the Lord. We are all burning in sweet surrender to the light of the Lord. We are all burning, all burning. We are all burning, all burning. Sweet surrender. Sweet surrender to the light of
This morning's poem is from poet Grace Butcher, and the title is Learning from Trees. So I invite you to just feel the magnificence of the trees surrounding us here along the San Antonio River, right near the headwaters. If we could, like the trees, practice dying, do it every year, just as something we do, like going on vacation or celebrating days, it would become as easy a part of us as our hair or clothing. Someone would show us how to lie down and fade away as if in deepest meditation. And we would learn about dark emptiness, both knowing it and not knowing it. And coming back would be irrelevant. Whatever it is the trees know when they stand undone, surprisingly intricate, we need to know also. So we can allow that last thing to happen to us, as if it were only any ordinary thing. Leaves and lives falling away, the spirit complex, waiting in the fine darkness to learn which way it will go. So we take time now. Generally, if we were together, we'd pass our bread baskets and share a bite of communion bread together. But here today, we're going to breathe together. We're going to come to this time of ritual breath, of remembering that literally we are all breathing the same air. And I think the pandemic's taught us a little bit about that. But this morning, I invite you that as we breathe together, to not just breathe in the air, but to fully digest it with every cell and fiber of your being. To breathe in and inhale life, love, and spirit, and as you exhale, to release and let go of anything that no longer serves you. And we'll breathe together 4 times at the sound of the bowl. And breathing in, inhaling at the sound of the bowl. Together. And again. And once more. Truly, we are one. So I'm going to invite Angel Santiago to come up and join me as we prepare. Angel was one of the co-facilitators with myself for our spiritual leadership training program, which we did this past spring. And it did get a little interrupted and we had to go online. But there were 4 fearless warrior spirits that continued and completed in May. And we haven't had a chance to do their certification ceremony, so we're going to do that today with them. I think Michelle and Chris are here. I know Tam couldn't be here, Tam Corbett, and Natalie's here. Okay, great. So we're going to invite them to come up.
All right, come on up. So we have Krista, Krista here, Michelle, and Natalie, and we also have Tam, who couldn't make it. She's working right. But you know, this kind of came up as a result of the growth and long-term sustainability of Celebration Circle. Because one day, as we all do, Zach and Rudi are not going to be here anymore, right? So what's going to happen to the circle? So we came up with a spiritual team or program. So we've been working really hard on learning how to do, how to hold space, how to lead, how to be spirit. And this lady said, yeah, I want to do that. You know, they're also working on their own. They have their own practices in their own way. Practices, and so they're also taking this into their own practices and how they show up for their people that they serve. This was not only helpful to us as a community, but also to them as individuals and professionals. So we're going to give them a little something. We're going to start with Krista. And Krista, she's you're a licensed counselor, right? Yeah. She was awesome during this program. Each of these individuals show up. It was just beautiful how they helped each other, how we helped each other. So thank you for doing it. Give her a hand. And then we have Michelle. What are these things?
These are prayer flags that were created for them through the University Presbyterian Church's prayer flags, and then I added a little bit of self-love to it.
They're also getting a certificate inside their folders, making it official that you've graduated. Congratulations, Michelle. Give her a hand. And then we have Natalie. You're going to get your little flag and your certificate. Give Natalie a hand. And we have Tam. Tam, if you're watching, maybe you're watching. want to celebrate you as well. We have your flag and your certificate. So we acknowledge you here in spirit.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a very pure experience. So if they're doing it again, and anybody wants the opportunity to do that, just say it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really learned a lot about the prayers and, the depth to the communion prayer and the welcoming prayer and, the idea of connecting with this community is just so lovely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support.
Join us in we love you, bless you together. We love you, we bless you, we see you. And now we're going to sing a chant, and
Sing it 3 times through for each one of them, and then 1 time through for the circle as a community. Let the long time light within you shine on you, guide your way on. So 4 times through. Let the long time light within you shine on you, guide your way on. Let the long time light within you shine on you, guide your way on. Let the long time light within you shine on you, guide your way on. Let the long time light within you shine on you, guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate the dedication and the time that you all put into yourselves and into this program. Really appreciate it.
This is a song that Sean Benson particularly liked, being an mystic and an interfaith scholar of the highest order. Send this to you, Sean, to the soul of each one. Come to the light, come to Christ, come to Krishna, come to Buddha, to the Father and the Mother Goddess too. Come to Allah, come to Jesus, as the Sacred Spirit frees us and reminds us who we really are in Him. Come remember who we really are in Him. Come build a Lord or vow. Come sit in silence or sing it right out loud. Come wearing hats or shaved and bald. Come feeling sad or not feeling much at all. But come, don't stay outside, hiding in the feeling inside. Come, remember who you are. Sorry, Jesse, it's up. Come to the light, come to the Father and the Mother Goddess. Come to the Paragon, Jesus as the Savior of Jesus, and reminds us who we really are. Come remember who we really are in turn. feeling scared. You're feeling sad 'cause you think nobody cares. Come on, don't stay outside. Hiding in the fields, don't cry. I say, come, remember who you
Thank you very much, Circle Band, for bringing us back into this space and really back into the energy of what it's like to be a celebration circle. I have missed this so much. I'm really grateful. Today I would like to lead the meditation to help us really come into this place, not just into this physical space here, but also into this place of community together that we've all been so sorely missing and needing, and now we get to appreciate it. So let us begin. Come to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Take a full deep breath in and your natural breath out. One more deep full inhalation and your own exhale. Take one more deep full breath in, this time through your nose. Feel that life-sustaining force entering your body. That prana breath, gift of life. A long, slow exhalation. Begin to come into this place. Noticing the sounds of the birds. The gentle hum of the traffic. People walking by. And drop in one more level. Full deep breath. Noticing the fresh air in the air. Begin to come further inward into your body. Notice the edges of your skin. Where all your physical contained. The lines of the blood coursing through your veins. The muscles as they hold onto your bones. Feel the weight of your body. Notice the gentle pull of gravity down by the knee. And at the same time, the opposite force of the chair underneath you with the ground beneath.
feel your heart. Feel your entire body and your entire existence being supported in every moment by unseen forces. In today's meditation, I would like to offer gratitude for all the unseen forces in our lives that support us, keep us moving forward on this life path. The bones, the blood, and one whole deep breath in through the nose. Long, slow exhale. Take one more deep breath. Again, come back into the room, facing the sides, the right of your screen. Deep one out. Now you're done. Relax.
Thank you, Krista. Into this open-hearted, soft, peaceful place, you knowing you love our brother, our distant friend, this path of spirit, walking with good red road alongside us in a good way. Please welcome Hal Robinson.
Very grateful. Really grateful for what I've done. Thank you. I just sure miss this stuff. You know, the certain what you do. Thank you. I'm good to be here with you all again. I do this kind of thing. The solitude of COVID is really been great for me. I've been able to spend a lot of time alone. And that's my permission to do that. And this time I had a whole bunch of reasons to look at my schedule, everybody coming by, so I might as well go home, have a good time. That's good news for me. I didn't dig into the work ethic, the weird work of that. And hasn't been working. So this year has helped me rearrange that. And it really is good to be here. Right now, I'm this teacher, my oldest sister, Jermaine City Road. I got a chance to be with her, but she was crossing over and hold her hand. And she said, share the medicine and help the people with the block. Yes, ma'am. So here we are. It's good for me. At the time, I didn't quite get it. It's like she was giving me something to do. And my stuff with authority, I was kind of naturally resistant to someone. And then over the years, I understood she's just trying to help me realize my own path. To try to wake up to the way I've been walking. And this is good. So part of what I've learned over the years from other people, and that's the big emphasis at the moment, I really know what you all are doing. Just by being here does a lot for me. So a lot of people have given me a lot of information, and I've been able to use some of them. One of Jermaine's big deals is if it's not practical, if you can't use it in your everyday life, then it's not really spiritual. It's just thought. It's philosophy, somebody's idea. She says spirit medicine is like a hammer if you want to build a house. You don't want to use a fork, you want to use a hammer. So that's what the spirit medicine is. So part of what I'm sharing today is to acknowledge the importance of this in my life. What I've been told by elders is that 1,000 years ago, people studying spirit, connected with spirit, talked a lot less than we talk. And part of that was an acknowledgement that words were magic. And so for a long time, that's an idea. And we understand that neuroplasticity is an idea, that that's a reality. That words can rearrange molecules. To me, that's just a mind blower. That my words, my thoughts, can rearrange my molecules. And that, to me, that's just incredible. That's the doorway plus the key. So part of the way this came about for me is studying neurobiology in 2005. There was this wonderful experiment about the telomeres. The telomeres are the end of the DNA molecule. It's a spiral helix. And all this information only means is that they found that certain words, certain thoughts, and thoughts create emotions. Certain emotions which create feelings in the body. Words and thoughts create emotions, and emotions create feelings in the body. That these things in order may create symptoms. But also one of the other polarities that here that is with some control over my words and my thoughts, I can rearrange the molecules with my DNA. Those are called telomeres. Through stress and anxiety and stuff, and the wife with 40 years of drinking good whiskey, stuff like that, has a damage on the end of the telomeres. And the DNA molecules behave like they're supposed to. And that's called that manifest called aging. So it turns out that these telomeres, these circles at the end of this spiral helix, can be healed up. Yeah, I didn't close my heart. And the way they can be healed up is in words, which rearrange thought, emotion, to create the body. That's how that works. And it's just so simple. It's just such a lot of the spiritual traditions talk about the power of action. And I'm finally understanding that they're not kidding around. We can be imagining this stuff. We're magical beings. Don Juan told Carlos Costa 15 years. We are magical beings. We can change the world, we can change ourselves, and the world is reflexive. The personal responsibility is to change ourselves withinward and leave the world alone. Leave everybody else alone. They're doing their thing. They keep you busy to keep your words in mind, and that'll keep you busy if you want to. So it's an interesting thing. In 2005, they discovered the 4 words are compassion, what the Dalai Lama spent a lot of time with, appreciation, gratitude, and caring. Caring was the 4th word. They began the experiment with love instead of caring. And what they found out is that some of us have had some experiences with love that just weren't all that great. And we have some associations attached to the word love. In my case, to hell with that. And caring is real and wide open. Like to care about the trees and the meditation and the music. I smell some food cooking somewhere. To have to kind of caring about caring. So So compassion, gratitude, appreciation, and care begin to heal the telomeres at the end of the DNA molecule and slow down what we call aging. That's just so incredibly powerful to me. And now the current stuff I'm studying is neuroplasticity, that I can train my mind to be my servant, not my master, in terms of Rudi. I can train my mind to keep expanding neuroplasticity by challenging my mind not to think in a sort of way that something happens in the neural structure of my brain when I'm not caught up in old thinking patterns. Isn't that strange? Just to stop the crap I want to do and to get break, the brain begins to do something, to get curious and expand. So the medicine's teacher, Germain, asked me to share with you all, has to do with stopping ourselves. And part of stopping ourselves is to look at the magic of the words that we use. Like in where I live in Kerrville, it's not uncommon to see a license tag, license bumper sticker by some angry person that says, "Life sucks, die." Whoa, those are some powerful words. That guy's creating some magic. I'm not sure he knows he's a magician. But you know, he's creating some magic, at least personally. If that's the system, his words, we've learned from neurobiology and plasticity that those words create a reality for him. Now, what I've learned the last few years about myself and other people is that reality gets in the way of seeing the world. That I'm not seeing the world, I'm seeing this from my hands. And part of the way I change that, if I want to, is being conscious of my words, my thoughts, and leave everybody else alone. That'll keep me pretty busy. So what we're discovering is that's a way of stopping ourselves. It's very, very private. I'm making this connection in the physical reality. The DNA, my blood pressure, my immune system, my serotonin, my cortisol, my homocysteine, all of those markers for good health. They are a physical manifestation of my thoughts, my emotions, and my feelings. And in this medicine that I've shared with you all today, that I felt anyway, I'm just emphasizing it, is that because we think that all three of those dimensions are covered, physical, emotional, and mental, and dealing with the spiritual issue, that the fourth dimension must be present. And in this stalking medicine, it's said by the elders, spirit is present in everything. It is impossible for spirit to not be in everything and everywhere all the time. And so this voice in my mind here, called the judge, says, well, my mind is private. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe my thoughts are developing a manifestation and you all are witnessing. The way I am in the world, the way I interact with you, the way I talk with you, I'm responsible in some way for that level of energy that I bring into the room. So in order to do that, I must be aware and responsible of my own consciousness. Now, consciousness is a pretty big word for what am I thinking about? Life sucks and then you die. Or this is really a beautiful place and a time. Thank you, Creator, for letting me be here. I have some responsibility for what I'm creating to the circle. And if that doesn't turn you on, if you're sick or some physical, you might begin to explore what words you would use to describe your symptoms. That's an interesting experiment. How would I describe my symptoms? Well, when I'm upset, I would describe my symptoms like that. So that's physical. And if I bring emotion with that, that is frustrating or angry. And if I put thoughts with that, I know the only time I'm ever frustrated and angry is when my mind is judging, blaming, and criticizing. Otherwise, I am never, nunca, never frustrated and angry unless my mind is judging, blaming, and criticizing. I am creating a reality. That reality manifests in my physical and in my relationships. And here's the weird thing, it's taken me a long time to understand this and the power of this. So I'm sharing it with you all, and maybe it's worth something to you. For a long time, I've had no awareness of how much stuff my mind was doing without me being aware of it, if that makes any sense to you. It was like my mind was over here giving me a ration of crap about everything that I did all the time. And I was over here listening to this ration of crap without being aware that I was doing that. And I was thinking that the world was very hard. What was hard was this relationship. The world was fine. This relationship that was going on in my mind, that's where things were hard. And that made all the rest of the world hard. And for a long time, I kept thinking, if I find the right person, if I find the right job, if I drive the right truck, then all this stuff is going to go away. I can reassure you, I probably don't need to. That was a lie. That's not true. So I've taken full responsibility for finding my shadow side. The words that my shadow side uses. Because my shadow side has been with me since I was about 18 months old. It's pretty well integrated in there. So it's called the shadow side because it can hide. It can pretend to help me. It can pretend to help me. So I have grandchildren. My oldest granddaughter is just 27 recently. And it's really beautiful to have grandchildren that like you. I have some friends that don't get along with their grandchildren. I was like, man, I'm sorry. It's really great stuff. Anyway, one of my favorite stories from the granddaughter is that she was having a little trouble when she was in high school with young men. Her mom and dad divorced when she was 18 months old. So this is not rocket science. So she had a difficulty with relationships with them. So anyway, we were talking about she always chooses boys. They were boys at that time, who pretend to like her. And then after a period of time, they begin to want to change her. You know, why don't you make your hair a little blonde, just stuff like that. And she said, I keep choosing guys like that. I have to find the right guy. She said, what do you think, Papa? How do you find the right guy? I said, no, I don't know. I had this idea that the world reflects your reality. She said, Papa, I don't know what that means. I said, I don't either sometimes, really. But right now, what that means is the thoughts I have about myself, they attract or repel certain things, like a magnet. You turn around one way, it repels, and turn around one way, it attracts. She knows all that. She said, Papa, talk plain. Okay, that's okay. Let's talk plain. I said, I believe you have a voice in your mind that judges you all the time. She said, Papa, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I know that. Let me see if I can do that, okay? Let's go to the kitchen, have a living room. We have this great big mirror. This mirror, what I want you to do is to look in your eye and to say to myself, this is I am. And she kind of looks at me and said, okay. And she looks at me today. I said, what? She said, I just had this thought. It would be easier to love myself. I lost 10 pounds. I said, that's it. What? I said, that's the voice in your mind. It doesn't matter who you are. The voice of judgment. The Christian school, they talk about judgment all the time. That's it. That's the one that God Jesus was talking about. You guys all the time studying that. That's the judgment. She said, Papa, that means judging the people. Sweetie, it's only one half of it. You can't have half a quarter. You need both sides of it. The other half of it is how much the voice of your mind judges you. She said, okay. Sorry. There's a part of me that says if I lose 10 pounds, it'll be easier to just like myself. And I said, okay, you believe that. She said, I need the part of you that tells you that. She said, what do you mean? In my mind. That's there all the time. Tell me what's there. She says, if I'm prettier or if I'm skinnier, maybe if I'm smarter, then my life will be better. So you have a voice in your head all the time that's telling you if you were different, your life would be better. She said, yes. I said, well, this has to do with the young men that you choose. She said, Bob, this doesn't make any sense at all. I said, I understand. We're talking about what goes on in your mind, and you're talking about thinking outside the world. And I think they're connected. She said, how? I said, well, you ever study reap what you sow? She said, I don't do bad things. So I'm not worried about that. I said, no, the voice of your mind is not nice to you. There's a consequence of that. You might choose young men who pretend to like you, and then are not nice to you. He said, the voice of my mind is only trying to help me. Okay, there we are. There we are. I have this voice in my mind that says to me, well, you know, if you were smarter, we'd be a lot better off. And I've been taught that judgment of how I should be different is good for me. Now, you all may have noticed if you've been in relationships, the worst thing you can do to get along with your partner is to judge them. 100% of the time, short of hitting them with a rock, the worst thing you can do is to verbally judge them. If you want to be close to them, that's guaranteed to not do that. That's how powerful words are in relationship. They're equally powerful. I was trying to impart to my, they may be equal in what we manifest in our world. There's a strong possibility. You reap what you sow. It could be true. So what my focus has been the last couple of years, well, about 20 years, my partner and I have had she just retired. That was me. Anyway, we still have a clinic. So anyway, if you want to come by, we're there. So over these years, my principal interest in all this stuff is the connection between the mind and the body. Neuroplasticity, the ability to change the body, words, and then to look at that spirit. The final part of today's talk is when my mind is filled with judgment, either of myself or other people, those words and thoughts are busy creating a reality. I personally feel very far away from a spiritual connection. So what I've studied over the last 20 years is how those two always seem to go together. When I'm angry, frustrated, blaming the world, maybe I'm not getting what I want. I feel connected to spirit. It's almost a precondition that there are other thoughts and other emotions and other feelings that open the door to a connection to spirit. That's how it seems to be going on now. So it seems like some of that medicine from the Jesus person of judge not, that's good medicine. It seems like if I judge my partner, I'm more distant. If I judge the voice of my mind judges me, it reaches my mind. And maybe not in a good way. There's that possibility that anger and resentment and blame and self-pity have a correlation with heart disease and cancers. That would be a weird thing. So anyway, what I'm sharing with you today was what I was taught by a lot of other people. It's been really useful to me. I inherited using words of the spirit to create certain thoughts, certain emotions, certain feelings in the body. It took me years to understand how those thoughts could be in fight or flight. Physically, if my thoughts do that, the world didn't do that. That was visual awareness for me. And the next level of the onion, to keep peeling the onion, was that words have magic. The the old sorcerers it was correct. Pay a lot of attention to our thoughts and words we put out in the universe. They're natural. We can create out, we can create out. So, medicine is to be aware of the responsible. Decide what we want to do. That's what we're all about. Thank you all for your time. It was good for me.
In all things give thanks. 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 As Hal said, words have power. I invite you to continue to consider the power of the word. Thank you. I might say that to life, to spirit of your understanding now. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks.
We take this time to lift up our offerings, lift up the names that we offer for prayers. We hold each and every one, everything, every situation, all the gifts. We hold it all up into the light, knowing that love is what guides us. Love is what keeps us true to who we truly are. Not just love, but the caring, the compassion, the appreciation, and the gratitude, all of it is what brings us here to this moment. So we have offering baskets placed around, a couple around the room. Chuck's got one, there's one on this table here. And so on your way out, please support the work of the circle. And if you have a name or situation, please email it to us or place a note there for us. And we'll share it with the prayer circle.
I'd like to take just a moment to thank Jesse Crash Lopez and over at Sounds. Everyone's here this morning, carried a lot of stuff last month's leave to hear stuff, and we appreciate your love and your support. Thank you.
And thanks to all the volunteers who helped us set up and came early and came yesterday. It's Friday, we check it out. It does take all of us to make this happen. Thank you, and thank you for being here. Do the song? Yeah, do a song.
I love the dance floor that's going on out here, and right here in front, and wherever you are, too.
This is the dancing song.
Our dancers in the light. Our dancers. Our dancers. So it's all we believe in those who can protect the night. We are dancers in the light. We are dancers in the light. We are dancers in the light. And this dancer in the light. Please say that you know me. Voice sometimes speaks so clear. Dancers in the light, that's it. We are dancers in the light. We are dancers in the light. Dancers in the light. I'd say a special word of thanks to Daniel, son of the trumpet. Keep up the road. That's it.
Okay, just a couple of announcements I want to share with you. First of all, make sure you know that Hal has the Dancing Bear Teaching Lodge. It's a website and a wonderful opportunity for you to learn more about stalking and all the ways you can learn to listen and retrain that judgment. Meditation circle still happens every Wednesday night at 7:30, from 7:30 to 8. Angel and Graham lead that alternating weeks, and so you can do that online through Facebook Live. So we'll do that each week. On November the 9th, Natalie is going to lead our intention mandala workshop, and we'll be doing that again in December. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask Natalie, and it's a great time to just cut and paste and put your intentions into images and next week online, we have Angels and Rudi will be doing a dialogue about healer, and you'll be able to get that on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live. So join us there. A couple other things, we have altars that are available back at the back of the room. So please take a look and enjoy those. And I want to thank everybody who supported the altar show. It was a great success for us, our first time to do it online. And so we hope you'll want to take some of it home with you today. Also, just a reminder that how many of you have voted? Oh, yeah! Please. It's that time, and we're grateful that you participate. And then I want to just ask for your feedback. If you think this is something worth doing, let us know. Well, thank you for that. That answers my question. So we'll take that into consideration. What? Oh, any specific suggestions that are welcome about how, where, what? So let us know. And Hal's birthday was Friday, and today is Ellen White's birthday. So we're going to sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ellen. Happy birthday to you.
So Betty's got it, and so you know, what's going to go in those bowls to keep us doing this? So please support this with your financial contributions. That's a meaningful way to.
And I just have to say, because she would never say it herself, but Zed Bear has worked amazingly hard to make this. Sort of survived the last 7 months.
So we're going to invite you to just stand up where you are and imagine that we're in a great big circle holding hands. And we're going to remember that love is the only power. Love is the only way as we watch our circle grow. Together.
Love is the only power. Love is the only love. Watch our circle grow. Love is the only power. Love is the only watch our circle grow.
Bless you.
See the light in you.
about being like a little camera. Yeah, yeah. But it's pretty nice to keep based on what half the leagues up to see.
He lies.
Yeah, it's like one right, so this one website, half the league, be live. Oh, cool, yeah, it's have you discovered are you using hotspot? Is that what this is? Oh, cool, and it's probably just air. That's interesting. It's hard here. Cool. How do you get roped into this?